Hello and welcome to HTML tutorials. Today we are going to discuss about HTML tables. The HTML tables allow web authors to arrange data like text, images, links, other tables, etc. into rows and columns of cells. The HTML tables are created using a table tag in which the tr tag is used to create the tables rows and td tag is used to create the data cells. Okay, let's have a look at our first example. Actually, this is the best example to create a basic table. Here, HTML open, and in head tag we have a title, that is HTML tables, and title is closed, and the head is also closed because title is a header tag. And we named the this example with the HTML with the name HTML tables, and we open the body here, and we open a table here, and we assign a border 1 pixel. So you will understand what is border 1 pixel when you execute the program. Okay, then we started creating the table row here. In the table row, we created a table data, that is row 1, column 1, and we closed the table data here. And we created one more table data, a row 1 and column 2, and we closed here. And then a table row is closed, and we open one more table row, that is a table, and we started creating table data row 2, column 1, and we closed the table data, and we open one more table data, that is row 2, column 2, and we closed the table data here, and the table row is also closed. In this table we have 2 table rows, and in each table row we have 2 columns, this one and this one, and the table is closed, and the body is also closed, and the HTML is also closed. So let's try to execute this program in our text editor and see the result. So here we have our code ready in the text editor. The HTML head and the title name. I already explained this code, and we are saving this code like save as in desktop. We have a folder called HTML. I am saving this here with table.html. So it's a HTML file. Always you should remember that you should save the file with .html extension. Then only a browser can create it as a HTML file. And I'm saving this, and let us run this in Pro. So here you can see that we created a small table, a row 1, column 1, and row. Let me compare this with the code here. This part is one table row, that is row 1, column 1, row 1, column 2, row 1, column 1, row 1, column 2. This is a row here, and we have one more row here, row 2, column 1, and row 2, column 2. So this is how we create a basic table, and we gave a border like the margin 1 pixel. That created a border between the tables, I mean around the table. Let me see, let us change this one to 5 pixel and see how it looks like. See, we created border around the table with a 5 pixel thickness. So this is the way we create a basic table in HTML. So now we proceed with the table heading. Table heading can be defined using th tag. This tag will be put to replace td tag, which is used to represent actual data set. Normally you will put your top row as a table heading, as like I'm going to show that in clearly in the example. Otherwise we can use th element, like yeah, maybe it's better for me to show the example here and then I'll explain. So here we are using a th tag, the first row of the, like the first data cell of the table. We are writing th instead of td here. That means instead of a table data, we are using a table heading here. And let's execute this program and you will understand better. So here is the code and I'm going to explain this now. So here we have a HTML file and the title is HTML table header, and in body we open a table here with a border 1 pixel, and tr we open a table row. In td, in table data, instead of td we are using a th, that means table heading, that is name, and we are using one more th. The table heading is salary, and we close the table row, and then we open a tr, and we are using the td now. Instead of th here we are using td, that means table data, not the heading. Th means table heading and td is a table data. Table data is Steve, and td is 5000. Like here in the name we are inserting Steve as a name, and in salary we are giving him like a 5000, and we close the table row here, and again we open the table row and we created a td, that is mark in the table name, and td 7000 in salary, and we close the table row and we close the table, we close the body, and we close the html. So, and save this program with extension .html and run this in Chrome. Here, see, you can see that the name and salary are highlighted compared to the other cells. Why? Instead of td we are using th, that is table heading. So heading is always highlighted. So in tr we are using th name, and we are closing th here. That means name is highlighted, and then th salary is highlighted, and Steve 5000, Mark 5000. So what I mean to say is the name is Steve and his salary is 5000. The name is Mark and his salary is 7000. So that's how we create table headings and table rows and table cells. Now we're going to proceed with the cell padding and cell spacing. So what is this cell padding and cell spacing? There are two attributes called cell padding and cell spacing which you will use to adjust white space in your table cells. The cell spacing attribute defines the width of the border, while cell padding represents the distance between cell borders and the content within a cell. Let's have a look at the example here. Here in this table we are creating a table in body, and we're giving a border 1 pixel, and cell padding is 5 pixels and cell spacing is 5 pixels. So when you execute this program, you will understand that the rest of the program is same as the previous code, and let us see how it's gonna work. Okay, the code is ready here. So here we are using two new attributes. The first one is the cell padding, and the second one is cell spacing. When you save this program with a .html file, and when you run this in the browser, and you will understand, you see some the difference between the previous program and this program, the previous output and this output. You see some difference here. In the previous code, it was like this, because, and here it is like this. Here we give a value for this attribute is 5. That is cell padding that defines the width of the border. That is fine. Let us make it as like, for example, make it 10. The cell padding is 10. Save this. I'm going to run this now, and you see that. So the width is increased, like here the width is increasing, and if you do it like 20, and you'll see the clear difference here. Now you run it, and you see the width is increasing slowly. So here in the first example we haven't mentioned any cell padding, so the text, the data is inserted exactly at the space, but we gave a cell padding 5 here, like you see the difference here. And if it is cell padding 10, you see more, like the cell, the width of the cell is increasing, and we gave 20 here, so it's more width here. So what if we make its cell spacing is, instead of 5, let's make it is 10, and run this, and you see the cell spacing is width increased here and here. Now I'll give you one more example with the 20 for the better cell spacing is 20, and save and Chrome. Now we compare this. So this is the cell spacing 5. Here there is no cell, like we have like here we haven't mentioned any cell spacing. This is 0, and here it is cell spacing 5. This is also 5, and this is 10. So you can see that the space between the cells are increasing. Of course, it is affecting the border as well. If it is 20, you can see that the space between the cells are increasing. So to increase or decrease that, to affect that, we use an attribute called cell spacing in tables. So our next attributes in tables are COLSPAN and ROWSPAN attributes. Basically, we use COLSPAN attribute if you want to merge 2 or more columns into a single column. Similar way, we use ROWSPAN if you want to merge 2 or more rows into 1 row. So let's have a look at the example so that we can understand it better. So here you go. The example is here. In this example, we have a table border 1, and we opened a table row, that is TH, table heading column 1, TH, table heading column 2, TH, table heading column 3. And then we close the table row and open one more table row, and the table data open and row span is 2. Currently forget about this, and we open a TD, that is table data row 1 cell 1, and we close the TD. And we open one more TD here, and row 1 cell 2, and we close it. And we open one more TD and row 1 cell 3, and we close the TD, and of course we close the TR as well. And we open one more table row, and we open one more TD, and we haven't mentioned any row span here, like, but row in table data we are saying row 2 cell 2, and we closed it, and we open one more TD row 2 cell 3, and we closed it, and we closed the table row also, and again we opened a TR, a table row. In the table data we are giving a COLSPAN. Here we give row span 2, here we give COLSPAN, and span is 3, and we mentioned that row 3 cell 1, and we open the table data, and we close the table data, and we close the table row as well, and we close the entire table. When you look at this kind of the code, it might be a bit confusing for the beginners, because you're in the beginning stage, you are still learning. But when you execute this and we look at the each and every line of the code, when you compare this with the output, you will understand it very clearly. So I'm going to execute this program in a browser. So I'm going to copy this code to our text. So our code is ready here in the text editor. Let us run this and then we'll start comparing this. I'm going to run this in Chrome, and here, sorry, I forgot to save this, so it's showing the previous program. So save this and then run in Chrome. So, yes. So if you have a clear look at the output and the code, here in body we have a table with a border 1. So this is the border with 1 pixel, and then we have a th, that is table heading 1, table heading 2, table heading 3, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 1, column 2, column 3. So this is over. So this table row is over, and we went to the next row, table row, that is TD, and with the row span 2. Okay, in this TR we have row span 2. That means in one table row we are going to get 2 rows. Row 1 cell 1 and row 2 cell 2, and row 1 cell 3. Sorry, where is it? Yeah, row 1 cell 1, row 1 cell 2, and row 1 cell 3 here. And then we created one more TR, that is TD row 2 cell 2, this one, and row 2 cell 3 here. So we gave a row span to this particular row, so it occupied 2 rows. And then we created one more table row, that is COLSPAN, that means a column span of 3, and then row 3 cell 1. So it occupied all the 3 columns, and we got only one column, that is row 3 cell 1. So this is a bit tricky, but if you practice again and again, if you create more more rows and more columns, and then use like a row span and column span, then you will understand it better. But this is the way, this is a very basic, and this is the only way to play with the rows and columns and spans of the rows and columns in HTML tables. So next we'll move on to the table backgrounds. In this table backgrounds, we can set table background using one of the following 2 ways. The first one is with a BG color attribute, and the second one is background attribute. What is the BG color attribute? In BG color attribute, you can set a background color for a whole table or just for one cell. That is a BG color attribute. And the second one is background attribute. In this background attribute, we can set background image for whole table or for just one cell. So, okay, let us try an example with this, so you will understand the difference between BG color and background. Here in this example, we are just using the same code that we used for a previous example, but in table we are adding 2 more attributes in a table tag, in table opening tag. That means like a border 1, it is common, that we already used this with border attribute in the previous example also, but we are adding a border color here, that is green, and background color is yellow. So we are using a BG color here, the BG color, that attribute, that is yellow, and we are giving a color to the border, that is green. Let's try this program. So this is the code. A table with a border 1 pixel and border color is green, and we are using our new attribute, the first table's background attribute, that is BG color. We are giving it yellow, and then we'll save this and gonna run this in Chrome, and that will give you a yellow table because we gave the attribute value is yellow for PG color attribute. That means background color. We gave it yellow. What if we give it, say, like pink? Okay, save it and run this in Chrome, and it will give you a pink color. So that is the BG color attribute. So here we have one more example for the background. That is, we are going to use the image as the background. Previously we have seen, like, applying color to the background. Now we are going to apply the background image. For applying the background color, we use PG color. To apply the background image, we are going to use the background attribute, that is equal to, I have an image in image called test.png in images folder. You can see that on my desktop I have a HTML file, like folder. In my HTML folder I have images. In images I have a picture image. If you look at the properties, its name is test, and it's a PNG image with a .png extension. So I'm going to put this image as a background. So where is this? This file name is test.png, and it is in images. This images folder is in HTML folder. So background is images and test.png. So I'm not going to write the folder name here, as this file is saved in here. So this file is saved here, the HTML, like the browser file is saved here. So next to it we have images. So we are not going to write the HTML/images/ because this file is also under the HTML folder. So when this code look for this image, it will look for images. So this images folder is right next to the HTML file. Okay, then I'm going to save this and going to run this. So here our intention is to put background, that is in the images folder, and the image name is test.png. So I'm going to run this in Chrome, and you'll see, yes, the rest is the same. The color is changed. It was pink in the previous example, but now we're using an image. The rest is the same. So our next topic is table height and width. You can set a table width and height using width and height attributes. You can specify the table width or height in terms of pixels or in terms of percentage of available screen area. Let's see what is that. In this code, our intention is to give height and width attributes to the table. In this table, we have a border with 1 pixel, and width is 400 pixels. The height is 150 pixels. And in TR row 1, we have a TD row 1 column 1 and TD row 1 column 2. The table row is closed, and we open one more table row, and the table data is row 2 column 2. and it's closed, and one more table row is like table data is row 2 column 2 closed, and here is closed. So here it will display like a two table rows with the two table data in each table row, and the width is 400, the attribute, and the height is 150. Let us try this code to execute and see the result. Okay, the code is here now, and I'm saving this. The width is 400 pixels, the height is 150 pixels. I mean the table width and table height, and I'm saved it. I already saved this, and I'm going to run this and see. Yes, the width of the table is 400, the height is 150. Let us change the width to 800 to see the difference. Save it and run this and see. This table is a bit bigger when you compare to the previous one. So it was a 400 table, 400 pixels width table, and this is 800 pixels width table. Now try to change the height. It is 150, and let us change this to 300 and run this in Chrome and see. This is a 300 pixels width, and this was the previous one for 150 pixels. So this is how we adjust the table width and height. And the way to use these attributes is like giving like values. Either we give the value by pixels or by percentage. And the next topic is in the table is like a table caption. The caption tag will serve as a title or explanation for the table, and it shows up at the top of the table. The tag is deprecated in a newer version of HTML and XHTML, but still we are going to have a look at the example to understand it better. So in this example, we have a body and a table with the border one with this 100%. That means you're using a width attribute, and width gonna fit the complete screen. That is 100%. And the caption is, this is the caption, and we are using a caption tag here, and we are writing the content inside it. This is the caption, and you can write this is, or whatever. You can write it down here, and then you close the caption and open the row here and insert some data into that and few more data, and close the row and open the row and insert data into that by table data and close it. So let us see how this caption tag works. So the caption tag example code is here. So we are using a caption tag here. It's open and caption close. And I'm saving this and run this in Chrome, and you'll see some kind of a heading here. This is the caption. So this is the way to name the table. We use the caption tag to name the table like that. Now we are going to discuss about the table header, body, and footer. Table can be divided into three portions. The first one is a header, and the next one is a body, and the bottom one is a footer. The head and the foot are rather similar to the headers and footers in the word processor document. That remains the same for every page. If you give a header once, if you give a footer once, so maybe the content changes in the body, but the header and footer will stay the same for every page. It works when that means when you're working with the MS Word. So when you assign a header there and the footer, and that will keep on continuing. If you can change the content in the body, but those header and footer will stay the same. So the three elements for separating the head, body and foot of a table are, the first one is T head, table head. To create a separate table header, we use this tag to create a header. And the next one is T body, the table body, to indicate the main body of the table. And the next one is a T foot, to create a separate table footer. So let's have a look at the code example for the table header and table footer and table body. So here in the HTML, we open the body here with the, and then a table with the border one with 100%, and we opened a T head here. In the T head, we opened a table row. In the table row, we created a table data with a COLSPAN 4, and this is the head of the table, and we will close the table head, table data here, and then we close the table row as well, and then we close the table head. So we have a COLSPAN of 4, and in the complete like 4 spans of columns, we are using one text content here, that is, this is a table head. And then we opened a table foot here, and we created a table row. In the table row, we have a table data with a COLSPAN 4. That means we are going to take like 4 columns. In those 4 columns, we are going to use a single row of text. This is the foot of the table, and we close the TD here, and then we close the table row, and of course the table foot. So we created a table head here, the saying this is the table head. And we created a table foot here and saying this is the table foot. Then we are creating a table body. In table body, we created a table row. In table row, we created a table data, that is cell 1, and we created one more table data, that is cell 2, table data cell 3, table data cell 4, and we created it. We closed the table row, and then we close the table body, and then we close the table that we opened here, and then we close the body that we opened here, and then we close the HTML that we opened here. So let us see how this table border and the table, the table head and table foot and table body looks like. Save this file and run this in Chrome, and you see here, this is the head of the table, this is the foot of the table, and then cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4. Here you have to notice one thing, that we created table head first, and then we created table foot, and then we created table body. But here is showing the table head is first, and then it's showing the table body, and then it's showing the table foot. But we created a table foot in the middle, then we created the table body. But here it doesn't matter how you create this. Head is first, body is next, and foot is in the bottom. So that is the HTML set. It doesn't matter if you create the body first or table head next, or it will take in this output format: table head first, table body next, and table foot last. And the next topic is nested tables. You can use one table inside another table. Not only tables, you can use almost all the tags inside the table, table data tag TD. For example, basically nested table is a table inside another table. So let's have a look at the example before we close the session. Actually, this example is the best example for a nested table. Sorry. So because we are creating a table here with the border 1 and with this 100%, and we created a table row here, and we created a table data here, and we are creating one more table with the border 1 with 100%, and we are creating a table row and the table heading is name, and we created one more table heading, that is salary, and we close the table row, and we created one more table row, and we're inserting table data into it, Steve, and one more table data, that is 5,000, and we close the table row, and we created a table, one more table row, and table data is Mark, and table data is like 7,000 here, and we close the table row, and we close the table as well, and we are closing this like a table data here. Instead of this, I suggest you something for a better understanding. When you write the code, write it like this. Maybe this is gonna help you to understand better. Like this. So you can see the things separately here. Okay, so the code is more readable when you write it like this. So here you can see a table and a closing table here, and TR and closing TR, TR, closing TR, TR and closing TR, and TD. So we created a table here with a border 1, and we, okay, let us run this code fast, and I'm saying this, when you run this in Chrome, yeah, you can see that like two table headings and table data, Steve, 5,000, Steve, name is Steve, salary is 5,000, name is Mark, and salary is 7,000. Okay, fair and good. But you can see that there is a table inside a table, but in this code, in this output, you can't really see the difference. You can see some lines here, but you can't differentiate the table. Let's make this inside table width is 80%, and this border is 5 pixels. And let us see this. Yeah. Now you can see that this is a table, and inside this table we have one more table. Inside that table we have a name table heading and a salary table heading, then Steve table data, Mark table data, and 5,000 table data, and so forth. This is a table inside a table. So what if you copy the same code here, the inside table, and copy this and paste it again? So we are giving the same data, but we copied once again and run this again. Now you see like two tables inside a table. The data is same, but you can see the two tables and I'm giving this border 5. Saving this, and I'm running this again. Yes, you can clearly see the difference now. So this concept is called as nested tables. That means we are giving, we are creating a table inside a table. So this is all about creating and making changes to the tables. I hope you enjoyed the session today, and we will meet in the next session with a different topic. Thank you very much, and bye bye.